my 2020 in 5 lines. Quarantine, canceled the trip, rescheduled the trip, canceled the trip, went on a trip, and came home with COVID. It was So I'm going to back it up just a little bit and tell you about 2019. I should lay a little groundwork here about Drennon Christian Church. I have known Corey and Harriet for several years, and John and I have visited here many times. A lot of members would be considered my neighbors, as John and I live just over the hill behind the church. So I knew a lot of the members, but there were several new members. Also, as I get into this story, Judy, right there, is the real piano player. And I have her permission to use her name. I came to Drennon Christian on March 17, 2019, somewhat discouraged. My intentions were to sit in a pew and just soak in God. I had no plans of getting involved, though I had always been involved in whatever church I was attending. I was done for a while. The first few Sundays, Judy was not here to play the piano, so we sang to canned music. Then Judy was here one Sunday, and then she was gone again. I think she went to Europe or somewhere. I don't know what she was doing. In the meantime, God started nudging me, something like this. Cindy, you can play the piano well enough to get them to a service. You need to tell Corey. I had several responses to that. The first one was, I did not come here to get involved. I have not played the piano for church in over 15 years. I'm not good enough, average at best, maybe ordinary, and I'm sure they would want someone more experienced. This back and forth with God went on for several weeks, and finally, one Sunday as I was leaving church and could not stand the nudge any longer, I told Corey I could play the piano, thinking I would play occasionally. I had a couple.
I say quarantine out here.
She was traveling or something. I don't know. I had a couple of stipulations. I would like to have the song list early enough in the week to practice, and he's very good about that. I only have to remind him occasionally. And please don't ask me to play on Easter, which was the very next Sunday. The first time I played the piano here was April 21st, 2019, Easter Sunday, and it was packed.
110 people.
Corey understood what I said. Or he, what does that mean, have selective hearing?
What? I wasn't listening. What?
Yeah. I had practiced, but probably not as much as I should have, because I had thought, surely Judy will be here on Easter. So it began. Judy was happy to have help, and she told me she was semi-retired from the piano, and therefore I have got to play a lot. My piano playing ability is lacking at best. I know my limits. I don't say that for somebody to come up and pat me on the back and say, oh, Cindy, you do a wonderful job. I know my limits, folks, okay? Though I will say it has improved over the past 2 years. Here's how I play the piano. I play exactly what is written on the page, and that would be the Baptist hymnal most of the time. I do not add notes unless it's an accident, and most of the time, I don't get them all played. I have learned, when all else fails, keep the right hand going till the left hand can get back in there. Now, they have put up with a lot. Not too long ago, I had to just completely stop and then get back in there when I could. It was, I don't know what I was doing. But anyways, I'm thankful that Corey has a very strong voice, and he keeps the church going regardless of what's happening over there on the piano. There was one Sunday I just did. It was horrible. I don't know what I did to that song. I slaughtered it. And I was apologizing to Corey. I said, I am so sorry. I have no idea what my fingers were doing. And he looked at me and he said, I think your hymnal was upside down.
She made that up.
so blessed to be at Drennon Christian Church. I have been a Christian for a very long time, but I still need to be reminded that God's got this. I came here very discouraged, but soon forgot all about that when God landed me on the piano bench. The people of Drennon have become friends and family. They have encouraged me to keep going and loved me through all my blunders. So I want to encourage you. If you are getting one of those nudges from God, but you feel you're not good enough, just average or ordinary, step out and see what God can do. Personally, I'm looking forward to the Sunday I play with no mistakes.